Motivational Mondays is the perfect way to set the tone for your week. Everyone can use motivation. Mondays are amazing, rich with opportunities, full of potential, and now motivational. Your week begins here.
Hi there, and thank you for allowing me to come to share with you from the GUMBO POT Poems, book written collaboratively by myself, Dr. Judy Sundial, and Jamie Jones. And I'm sharing for you today a poem by Dr. Judy Sundial entitled Erasing Isms. It's time. It's time to erase all the isms, to finally face our fear. Racism, sexism, ageism, make them disappear. No more prejudice about the color of our skin. No more insults about the bodies we're in. No more decisions pushing elders aside. No more assumptions that the poor have no pride. I erase all corporate policies that won't let a black man advance, and I erase all tenets of business that won't give a woman a chance. I erase all attacks against gays. These cause irreparable harm. I erase all hatred and malice against those who practice Islam. I erase any kind of intolerance against lesbians loving the same. I erase all manner of ignorance against those choosing gender change. Some may ask, are we ready? Are we made of the right stuff? Others may think, is there such a thing as an eraser that's big enough? Believe it. Because if you've been watching, we've erased Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So keep on watching as we damn marriage inequality to hell. My answer is yes, it is time. Past time to get things done. And our eraser is gigantic. It's our love for everyone. So let's join in solidarity that peace will rule the day. Let's daily use our erasers of love to erase these isms away. Poem from the GUMBO POT Poems by Dr. Judy Sundial, shared with you by Alyce Smith Cooper.
Good Monday morning. I am, of course, Genevieve Jones-Wright, the founder and lead empower mentor of Motivation.In.Action, or MIA. I am back with another wonderful conversation. This morning, we are kicking off April, which is National Poetry Month, with a beloved elder in our community here, Ms. Alyce Smith Cooper, our very own Golden Brown Fairy Godmother.
She got it right.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. I'm delighted to be here. This is fabulous. I'm so pleased for you.
I am just honored to have you. Thank you so much for giving us that wonderful poem, Erasing Isms.
That's especially important today. It's always been important, and that poem was probably written maybe 10 years ago. So it's not a new issue, but it certainly has greater prevalence.
Absolutely. Still timely, still a good message, and it's in your book.
Yes.
The GUMBO POT Poems.
That's our book, and it was written by three of us, three sister friends, and with the mission was not so much to get the poems written, because we all had poetry when we started, and we created more as we went along, but it was really the coming together of friends to really attempt to pull me out of a very deep trough of grief. I had lost many of my primary family members, my husband, my son, my daughter, It was a very difficult time, and I was having a hard time accessing my creativity or just accessing my life force, and my friends could see that. They knew that this spark wasn't there. And so they brought me to their table and said, come on, let's write. After a while, they knew that if they could get me engaged, that something would happen. And to God be the glory. This is what happened.
And what an amazing project and gift to the world. And I just love hearing that about your sister friends.
Oh, yes.
Coming to your side, pulling you out of that depression. We all can use some good sister friends like that.
Without a doubt, especially now. That was we published this in 2016, and we started in probably 2008. We were at it for a while. Given what we've been going through these last 2 years, everybody needs some good sister-brother friends.
Absolutely. So, when did you know you were a poet, that you had that gift?
It's been very difficult for me to accept that this is anything special to me, because I believe that everybody has a gift. It may not be that particular one, but I used to scribble things on little pieces of paper, and I'd roll them up because I didn't think much of them, or I'd crumple them up and I'd give them to my grandma. And she would stick them in her apron pocket. You know, old ladies wore aprons in those days, because she was always in the kitchen cooking, because that was her job. And so she'd roll them up, put them in her pocket, or stuff it down in her pocket. And then later that night, she would pull out stuff out of her pocket and she would read them. That's when she would call me and say, "You wrote this?" I said, "Yeah, Mama, I wrote it." And she wasn't very demonstrative at all, but she would grab me and she'd hug me and she said, you keep on doing this. And then every now and then I'd get a journal, a little blank book with some extra pencils or something. She'd slip them in my bedroom, put them on my bed, under my pillow or something. It's a surprise. So that was my encouragement, but I didn't really know what I was doing.
That's very, very beautiful, very powerful that your grandmother encouraged you. And I know your grandmother was very near and dear, still is very near and dear to you. You have a special name for your grandmother?
Oh, Nana. Nana's the lady, and remains that way.
Is there a symbol, a special flower, or anything that...
Oh my goodness, yeah, I called her Sweet Pea. We had so many names for each other. Yeah, I used to call her Sweet Pea because my grandfather planted flowers for her every season, whatever the season was. And so we knew spring was coming when he would start threading up the string and getting the little things ready, the trellis he called it, for the sweet peas to grow on. I mean, they grew. They're like the peas that we eat. But well, I didn't know you were supposed to eat them, but I knew that they were pretty and they smelled good. So I ate I ate them. I ate the peas. I ate the flowers. I ate it all.
I love that.
I tried some of everything. Ask me how begonias taste. I can tell you that too.
Oh my goodness. That's like the childlike innocence and exploration and all that other good stuff that we forget about, that we should really tap back into. I always ask my guests for something that our viewers can take away. I mean, you've hit on a lot this morning with coming out of what you called a trough of depression. You hit on sister and brother friends. You hit on our creative gifts. But what would you like to leave our viewers with this morning as they tune in to jumpstart their week on a positive and inspirational note?
Well, I'd like to start them out with something to jumpstart the rest of their lives. These are pivotal times in which we're living. As of this day, this is the spring equinox in the year 2022. So many of the prophecies of the holy books and the prophetic people that have come for centuries before us were talking about this time. We're living in the time of change. And so therefore, it's incumbent, it's a mandate that we change. And if we don't believe that, all we need to do is look around us and see the amazing activities that are going on that we have no control over. At least we don't feel that we do. I happen to think that we do have some control. It's only the control that we have over ourselves. However, that is the major control, how we think, which then dictates how we feel. which then dictates how we behave. You gave me the opportunity to share Dr. Judy Sundial's poem, Erasing Isms. That's a big part of it. We are so afraid of everything that we think we don't understand that we don't try to understand it. We simply operate in fear, which means we separate ourselves. There's no room for separation. There's no room for separation. We need each other to survive. There's a song that we sang in the church that I grew up in. It said, I need you,
Yes.
you need me.
Yes.
I ain't mad at you. I love you. And we got to work with this thing together. I'm paraphrasing. Those aren't the words. But that's what they said to me. And that's what I've taken into my belief system as being important to try to demonstrate. So I get a chance to do that with my art form, with poetry, with acting, spoken word. Just don't ask me to sing because that won't work very well. But if you want to laugh, and you want to share joy, that's what I get a chance to help people do. And so if I'm going to leave anything with people today, I want to say, change your heart, change your mind. Remember who you are and whose you are. We were created on this amazing planet, which we have not taken good care of, to honor Creator, to love one another. I believe that victory belongs to us because we're children of the light. And light will never, never bend to darkness.
Well, you have said it all. What powerful words. Not only are you going to jumpstart your week on a positive and inspiring note, but you're going to jumpstart your life. Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Alyce Smith Cooper. You have heard it here on Motivational Mondays from Miss Smith Cooper, that we are the change. We must be the change. Let's not live in fear. Let's operate in oneness and in love. I will see you next week where I will be speaking with the founder and the executive director of the David's Heart Foundation, Mr. Brandon Stepp. I will see you next week for more motivation. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Motivational Mondays. I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place, right here, with more inspiration to help you jumpstart your week. Now, if you found this week's conversation inspirational or motivational in any way, maybe you got a gem to carry with you throughout the day or the week, please feel free to like, comment, and share. Because remember, everyone can use some motivation. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you next week.